We meet few people who are so charming that we can't get over them. And I recently spoke to a person and felt the same. This lady is a photographer, musician, topper, and a national medalist. Sounds more like Picasso, Mozart, Einstein, and Zorro merged into one. Actually, it is. I'm glad to have Srinidhi in my podcast. This is Anirudh. Talk of Thought will start right about. Hello, Srinidhi. Thanks for coming in the podcast.
Thank you, Anirudh, for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Why don't you start by telling listeners about yourself?
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Srinidhi, and I'm a national fencer. I'm currently doing my final year ACCA, and I am a guitarist. I'm a photographer. I am a dancer. I'm a singer, and I belong to an army family as well.
Oh, 1 minute. All these things are you only, right? Let me just confirm.
Yeah, that is me.
Oh, the interesting thing is fencing, dude. I think fencing is one of the coldest and coolest sport. And how did you get to this sport? Like, because it's not awareness about the fencing is not there much in India, right? So how did you get in it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm so happy that you know at least a bit about fencing because a lot of people don't know about the sport as such.
Oh,
So, fencing, I'll just give a brief introduction about fencing to all the listeners who don't know about what fencing is. So,
okay.
fencing is also known as sword fighting, where there are two opponents and they try to get points against each other. There are different ways of getting it, but if I get into more detail, then it will just get boring. So
Yeah,
let's
of
just
course.
stop
It would
at
be like a history class.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fine. Yeah. So how did you get in this nationals and how did it go? Like journey?
So because my dad is in army, we kept shifting every 2 years.
So,
So I guess I was in ninth standard when we were posted in Patiala, Punjab.
oh, cool.
So there is this National Institute of Sports there, and me and my dad, we were just looking through all these sports which were there, and we suddenly crossed into fencing. And we were like, okay, this is a sport that is new to us because we never heard anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it was something different. And my dad loved different. So he was like, let's just give this a try. So we enrolled into fencing and I was there for 2 years. I made sure that my basics were strong and I could predict what the opponent was gonna do. So after 2 years, we got shifted to Bangalore, and here when I started playing, I realized that I think I should give a shot for nationals as well. So I gave my first national selection, I think back in 2017 or something, and I got selected for nationals. And I played, I think, 3 nationals until I got my first medal. That was in 2018.
That's cool. Do you think people get intimidated when you tell all this thing like you are in fencing? And like, do people?
The thing is, when I say that I am a fencer, people just go 10 steps back because they think that I'm always carrying a sword around. And I'm like, no, that is not how it works.
I know, but still, dude, it's intimidating. You're like, like when you're into some sport and that's also a sport like fencing, it probably, that makes a little of your personality and makes you a little bit stronger. That makes people to be kind of little protective towards you.
Yeah, I would agree to that.
Yeah. So, do you think this army background parenting helped you to go through this fencing or anything like transfers and all these things? Did it affect you? Like, because being like doing all the things you told, photography, guitar, fencing, like when a lot of transfer happens, you get new friends, you have to make new friends and all these things. Like, how was it?
Uh, if you ask me honestly, I don't like to stay in a place more than 2 years because that is how my entire life was.
Okay.
Every 2 years we had to shift, and every 2 years I was so excited to make new friends, see new places, and try different things. So I learned dance in one station, I learned singing in one station,
You launched bands?
photography in another. Yeah, I learned Bharatanatyam for 2 years and Kathak for 2 years.
Woo. Like, you know what actually? Like, when I was a kid, I went for tabla classes. And then, like,
Nice. Do you still remember how to play?
I don't know. I just went for a week. So, like, after that week, I was like, fine, I don't want to do this tabla. And then at that time, I remember, I guess, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, some Shah Rukh Khan movie came and he plays guitar in it. I was like, I want this thing now. So I went to guitar, and then I thought it's way more easier to show in a movie than actually play a guitar. So I just quit that also. Then, like, how do
You
you,
have
like,
commitment issues.
no, I think completing something is actually a big deal. Like, how do you do it?
That is one thing that army taught me: dedication, and to just move forward. Don't look back ever. If you can't do one thing, just push until you finish. That
Oh,
is one of the major things that army taught me.
that's cool. Because the thing is, majorly, like, whenever, like, we talk to someone, everyone will be a master of one trade, right? With you, you are a master of fencing, and you are, like, also a professional of many more trades, like photography, guitar, you told, dancing, and like you took training in all those things. So, like, when did this photography start from? Like, at which age?
The thing is that I had photography as my hobby. It means like whenever we as a family used to go for a vacation, I would randomly click photos.
Wo-
The actual interest for photography came into me when I joined my college.
Okay.
So we had pressures, and there was this one event called Story Through Photography. And because I had a camera at home, I was like, why not give it a shot? Because I literally enrolled for every single thing.
Woo,
So
that's
I
cool.
was like, why not give this a shot as well? So I went there, and I saw so many people there in the first round of photography, and I was like, oh my god, I think my skills are the lowest because I don't know anything. I did not know anything, but I think it was luck or fate, or I don't know. I won the photography competition of my freshers and ended up in the photography team called Cupid. So
Okay.
now what happened after that, my seniors were so helpful and so supportive. My seniors and my batchmates, they taught me so many things. I think from that was the point when I actually developed interest for photography.
Oh, that's cool. Because the thing is, what I feel with photography is, it's not just like you're capturing a moment, but it also has a lot of background. Like, you have to edit the photo, you have to take it from the right angle, you have to look at the light which is falling, all the things. So, like,
Yeah, too much work.
yeah, so much work, and like you being like anyone who is a photographer, I feel that they should have a lot of patience, right? Like looking for the right moment.
Yes, 100% agreed. And if you don't get that perfect shot, you get so annoyed because before clicking, you would have a shot in mind.
Yeah, yeah.
And if suppose that is not being executed, you just feel like throwing everything that's around you.
Okay, fine. Did you throw any time?
No, luckily not yet.
Fine. I guess not. You should never throw it. And whenever like we get into this creative field, like you told photography or like even like fencing, we can call it as creative because it's an art form and you're learning it. Or even
Yeah,
the guitar. Like, do you think like are you a fan of Bollywood?
I love Bollywood.
Same to same to you.
Like, I love Bollywood. I mean, there will be at least 2 instances in a day when I would make a Bollywood reference.
Yeah, do people understand?
Very less people do, but a lot of my friends don't.
If there is a Kaun Banega Karodpati in Bollywood, right, I would be like having that 1 crore for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Fine, we both will compete like one idea. We'll do the last segment over like why do we like Bollywood and about Bollywood. Do you think like
Dance.
this Bollywood love over the Bollywood made your interest in this dances and guitar?
See, the thing is, when you have an interest or when you like something, right, you want to incorporate it everywhere.
Okay.
So in case of Bollywood, actually I loved Bollywood for a really long time. Like when I was a child, I used to look at movies and I used to sing the song way back home and everything.
Oh.
So whenever you have interest for something, you want to incorporate it everywhere. So in my reference, it will be like I loved Bollywood. I tried incorporating it in terms of singing, dancing, guitar.
Oh.
So that is how you expand your horizon.
If Bollywood benefited one person so much, that person would be you.
I'm sure.
No, the thing is, because even though you want to dance, you want to get in guitar, just liking a particular industry or getting inspired itself is not enough. You have to keep that time, right? Like, how many years did you take to learn guitar?
I took classes for guitar for 2 years when I was in Patiala.
Okay.
After that, because I got posted here, I left my classes. But then I kept on learning. Like I kept on downloading chords and everything from the internet and tried it on my own. All the guitar tabs and leads, I used to download it from the internet and try it.
Hmm.
So you keep going forward with it. If you stop classes, that's not the end. You have a lot more ahead of you after that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's not just about what you learn in the class. After you learn in the class, how do you implement it? Like, how do you apply it? How much you love that particular subject, that matters a lot.
Exactly.
And I guess that is the reason, right? Like, what all the list you told, as if it's like a grocery list of all talent you have in yourself. There is a term called polymath. Like a person who knows more than two or three skills, or like who's a master. I guess you are the person who can actually own the title.
I am honored. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. I'm giving you the honorary medal also, virtually.
Oh my God, I'm in nine right now.
Fine. Yeah. Actually, this all are the groundworks I'm just making so that we can talk more in the podcast and I can give as much content as possible to the listeners.
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot to talk about as well.
Oh, like what are the, like, for example, if you go meet a person, like you look like an extreme extrovert. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, so like this personality of yours, like whenever you talk with someone, you make them feel comfortable. Like all this personality traits you have, where did you get this from?
One of the major credit goes to the army because every 2 years I had to shift. Every 2 years I had to make new friends. And if suppose I would have been an introvert, then I wouldn't have friends at all, and I would have been alone all the time.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
you develop those traits because you want friends. You can't stay alone in school. So you want friends.
Hmm.
So you go start a common topic. If suppose it's a school, then you go ask for notes.
Yeah.
And that is how your conversation starts.
Oh, that's cool. So like you don't have any friend like from childhood to now you are in touch with.
Yeah, I am in touch with, I would say, half of all those friends I had.
Okay.
Yeah, like I am not in touch with all those friends until sixth standard or something because I don't know for I don't know for what reasons, but from seventh, all my friends from seventh, I'm still in touch with them.
Oh, so like in traveling, like whenever you travel from one place to another place, you go for trips, right?
Yeah,
And this quarantine is something that will never let you go out of the house. So how are you managing it?
agreed. I am hating quarantine, to be honest. This lockdown, I have hated it so much because I am a kind of a person who loves traveling. Okay, for
Yeah.
me, traveling is from here to college, which is like an hour and a half.
Hmm.
So I would love even that sort of traveling. Every Sunday, I want to go out. or every Friday night I'm like, let's go to a mall at least. I can't stay at home. I want to go out. And I think this is the time, June,
Hmm.
July, after September, October. This is the time when we actually plan for vacations.
Yeah, actually
Me
we
and my
go,
family.
yeah, partying and all those vacation trips and all, like this winter time,
Yeah.
summertime also, like going to a cool hill stations, all this time we are completely coupled in this quarantine.
Exactly. All of us would sit together, decide which place to go, then what all to see. We make an itinerary of our own, and then we are so excited that okay, fine, vacation time. But there is literally no excitement like that now.
Yeah, I can understand. Like, I am not that of a travel freak, and I am like, I want to go now out. Like, I can't stay more at my home. I,
I completely understand your feeling, Anirudh.
yeah, I can know, right? Like for extroverts, it's more like some introvert put so bad nazar, and this all thing is happening.
Yeah.
So, like, how did you manage to get over the boredom? Are you getting bored?
I am a person who does not get bored easily.
Oh, that's a strong statement.
Yeah, because I'll do one thing or the other to keep myself busy.
Hmm.
I would draw, I would make masks, I would play guitar, randomly sing, dance, okay, end up studying or do some courses, look for internships. I would literally do a lot of things to keep myself busy.
Oh,
So I would say that I'm not a kind of a person who gets bored easily.
you're kind of person who doesn't get bored, and you're kind of person who is not even close to laziness. Like, did you ever feel how is it to be
No,
lazy?
no, I am very lazy. I am very lazy. I cannot get up before 10:30 in the morning. Even after that 10:30, I am like, no, I just want to sleep more. So I am very lazy.
You're very lazy, and still you manage to do all these things that you mentioned, and still you manage to top. Like, how is all this thing? Like, it's not believable. Well, I never had a like, of course, you're my friend now. I never had a person with whom I can take this reference from. It's more like fantasy coming true, like a picture.
I mean, but you can say that my left and my right brain works perfectly.
Ooh, yeah, yeah, right. Actually, yeah, I wanted to talk about like your studies. So ACCA is a course with BCom. You're doing ACCA with BCom honors, right?
Yeah.
So if you probably pass the whole course, you can be a manager in any accounting firm in the 52 countries.
I can sign as an auditor in any accounting firm, any auditor's report apart from India. Like if we are talking about Indian CA,
Hmm.
then I can sign as an auditor only in India. But with
Okay.
ACCA qualification, I can sign as an auditor in around I think more than 50 countries.
Oh, yeah, it's this more probably sound like whenever we talk to a person, right? If they are really into extracurricular, the dance, like every class has few students who really dance well, like who are into sports, all those things. Coming to studies, they are not that interested in studies.
Yeah.
Like, and there are few people who study a lot, who like whatever the exam they're at the top it, but they're not really good in extracurricular. So how are you? Like your left brain and right brain work extremely super, and you probably do everything better.
Okay, so the major credit would go to my mom in that case.
Okay.
Because no matter what I did, she always said that academics and extracurriculars both have to be balanced. So
Okay,
she
fine.
wouldn't let me get totally involved with extracurriculars or she wouldn't let me get totally involved with studies. She'd be like, maintain a balance. So
Mm.
I think that is one of the major reasons why I'm able to do good in all these fields.
Well, my parents also told me the same thing, but I never followed it and ended up being nowhere in both cases. I'm serious, like because every parent will tell their kids that, like, see, you should be good at studies. You should also participate in this extracurricular, but not everyone end up doing those things and being good at it, right?
Yeah, my mom, whenever it's study time, she's like, okay, now no mobile, no guitar, nothing, no music, now just focus on studies. And then when I'm with extracurriculars, my mom's like, okay, fine, throw the book away. Just do whatever you want.
That's
So,
cool. Like, so you participate in this fest, organized fest. Like, how is like, what do you do? Like, are you head of a council or anything by like with all the skills you have?
I am very unlucky in that part. I've never been a head of anything.
What really?
I will tell you the reason why.
Yeah.
Actually, my luck was so bad that, the class where you become head, like a junior head boy and head
Yeah.
girl in fifth standard, and then middle school captain in eighth standard. I used to get my postings exactly at that time. So
Okay.
I never got a chance to become a head ever.
Oh my gosh. You, I'm actually lucky in this case. Like whenever there was a posting, like whenever they decide, right, this person will be a head boy or this person would be that boy. My dad is in banking, so we also get transfer
Yeah.
every meanwhile. So whenever those postings are given to students, luckily at that time I would be present. And they will be like, okay, this kid looks kind of smart, so why don't we give him head position? Whereas I'm not even interested that much, but still I used to get.
Yeah. I mean, my brother is lucky in that way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay, now you told me that your dad is in banking and you get posted as well.
Yeah.
So how did you cope up with making new friends and all?
Yeah, so I wasn't like that, like I wasn't that extrovert as you, but whenever I used to go to any new school or anywhere, right, I,
Yeah.
I used to be humble and good, and like I used to get friends a lot. Like I wasn't really close to people, but still I have like many people who talk to me, like many people in group. But I used to feel bad also, like whenever I used to get close to some person, we used to get a transfer. Like a person become a
I
best
know that
friend,
feeling.
and then you just leave that place.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, and that used to happen a lot. Like whenever places change, right, you have to change everything. The routine changes. You have to get adjusted to that new place. And I know how it feels when a lot of
Yeah.
transfers are there. And like, how many schools did you change total?
Um, I'm not sure. 7, 8, I guess.
Cool. Okay, fine. I changed like 13.
Wow, that is like too much.
I know. I beat you at least in one place.
Yeah, okay, I give you that.
Fine. Because I beat you at many places. I'm just being humble for the podcast. Otherwise, I'm not this good.
Alright, we shall talk about it later.
Yeah. So, like, with all this attitude of like you going to places, you being good at all these things, you would be an advice guru, right? Like, whatever a friend has a problem, they would come to you for sure.
Yeah, that is true. The thing is, because I've seen a lot of things, uh, a lot of times, different places have different problems. And, the thing in army is like, if anyone has a problem, they would come to you. Like, they would come to my mom or something and they would ask, now what should I do? So I used to, eavesdrop all these things. I used to listen to what my mom would say. And I think if someone comes to me with a problem, then I am pretty sure that I would be able to solve it.
Oh, cool. Like, mostly people will come to you about what problems? Like, studies purpose or relationship purpose or what?
Both. A lot of my classmates and batchmates remember me in terms when it comes to assignment deadline or, exams. So
Oh,
they'll be like, Sridhi, yaar, please thoda padha de, kuch samjha de. And I'm like, all right, fine, sit 10 minutes and we are done.
your friend. I'm one of those people, like, one of that friend I would be like, come to a person and says, at the last moment, can you please tell what assignment you're supposed to do?
Well, I am not like that. I finish my assignments way before deadline.
Well, if there is a Student of the Year Part 3, please Karan Johar cast her.
Okay, there's one thing that I'm not good at, and that's acting.
What? No. Come on, dude. I have seen your, videos, all those things on Instagram, and you're very good at giving expression.
expression is because of the dance that I learned, but I can't make, instant sound face or instant happy. I can't cry.
You
So
can't
that
cry?
would be a big problem for Karan Johar because Karan Johar's films involve a lot of crying.
Of course, there would be some medicine they would be keeping near eyes. I guess that's how they
Yeah, I would
cry.
have to cut onions so that I could get tears.
Of course. Of course, Karan Johar is not going to bring onions to make you cry. He would give you some bit of... We're mentioning Karan Johar so much, people would quit listening to the podcast right now.
Yeah, because a lot of contradicting statements.
But it's true. Like you like I feel that even like in acting or anywhere, you need to have like possess different skills, right? And you have all those skill set and maintaining the skill set, like the ability to learning new things, is really important at this time.
Yeah, especially it's not only important this time, it is important at every time because there's something or the other that you would learn every single second. So you need to be very observant. You have to keep an open eye and an open ear to know what is happening around you. So that if you find that okay, this quality is attractive and it can help me go a step further in my life, then
Hmm.
you should immediately grasp it and try to apply it. That is how you move forward in your life.
Yeah, that's actually true. And when we are going to acquire those qualities, right, there would be some bits where you feel bored. There would be some bits you would feel like you want to quit it, right? So like any
Yeah.
time with you ever happened that you started something, like wanted to learn something and just quit in middle because you felt it's bored, like me.
Yeah, okay. So I used to do abacus when I was in like third standard or fourth standard.
Okay.
What happened was I was pretty good at abacus, when it came to addition and subtraction. But when I went ahead and when I started doing multiplication and division,
Hmm.
it just got so complicated that I lost interest in that. And I am like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I am leaving it. My mom was like, listen, you can't leave it at all. I was like, okay, fine. So I used to go to classes, sit there, see what's happening, try to do it. And then I think after 3 months or something, I got posted to Srinagar and I was like, okay, great. No more abacus from now on.
You were so
So,
happy.
yeah, I was very happy after knowing that. Okay, I was happy for two reasons. One, I'm going to Srinagar. It means that I'll be able to see snow.
Oh,
And secondly, I wouldn't have to do abacus anymore.
fine. Yeah, when we were kids, everyone had this intention, right, to see snow and like to do like to make that snowball. Like what do they call? Snowman. Yeah.
No, actually, when I was in Chennai, I prayed, okay? I prayed to God saying that, oh my God, I want to see snow. I am so fed up with the heat in Chennai. I want to see snow. So I'm like, take me to Manali as a
Oh.
vacation. That was my wish.
Hmm.
And God said Tathastu and sent me to Srinagar for 2 years.
Oh God. So from Chennai you went to Srinagar.
Yeah, so from down south to up north, all the way.
That would be so cool, right? Like because at that time when when you're a kid, at that time you're going to the snowy land, all those things, it would feel very excited.
And especially, I was so blessed in Srinagar. Like the park was right in front of my house. Like I get on from my house and there was a park.
Boop,
So
that's
I used
cool.
to be there 24/7. My mom used to pull me up and she was like, now at least come home and study. That's enough you've done already.
I know, right? Like normally only kids whenever they go out, getting them inside is difficult. And that time, a person like you who loves snow, like every kid loves snow, when you got getting in would be a very big difficult task.
Yeah, very difficult. My mom struggled.
Your mom struggled and like I feel at last she has a major contribution to, like what are the personality you've gone with all the traits that you possess.
Yeah, all the creative side has come from my mom.
Oh, all the logical accounts and, that side is from your dad.
I won't say accounts because both of my parents are BSc physics students.
Oh, scholar
Yeah,
background.
They are like proper science background, and I was like, I want to take commerce, and my mom was like, what?
It's so much, right? Like, yeah, whenever a person is like, okay, you have to take science, or like, of course, I love science too, but taking anything outside of this science, or this this element of science, it probably feels like, okay, what is going to happen to his life?
Yeah, but I got lucky and I got into a course which is pretty good
Uh,
and has a lot of scope.
so like, how did you choose that course? Like, did you look over the requirements or anything? Because I know there is an interesting story behind it.
It's a very funny story. Not an interesting one, but a very funny story. So
Yeah.
I was giving my college application. I knew that I had to do BCom honors.
Hmm.
Okay. But when I logged into my college website, so there
Hmm.
was a lot of specialization. And
Hmm.
now I was in a dilemma because I didn't even understand a single thing. Okay.
Hmm.
So my dad is like, fine, Google it up, see what. I was like, okay, fine. I ended up choosing two things. One was SEMA and risk management, and second one was international finance and accounting with ACCA.
Hmm.
So I was like, fine, I'll give entrance for both, and if I get into both, then I'll choose later on.
Hmm.
So now comes the date of written exam. I
Hmm.
go, I have two applications in my hands, and the teacher's like, you can only give entrance for one.
Okay.
And I am like, now I don't know which one to choose. I was like, okay, fine. I did Inky Pinky Ponky, and I was like, okay, ma'am, I'm giving the entrance for ACC. I'm not giving it for risk management.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
And why did I choose ACC? Because it sounded fancy.
Of course, it's really for fanciness. You chose a
Yeah,
career out of fanciness.
I am not kidding. Okay, I literally looked at. I'm like, okay, should I do risk management with SEMA or international finance and accounting with ACCA? Sounds fancy because see, ultimately I have to go tell my relatives only know that
Yeah.
I am doing international finance and accounting. They'll be like, oh, we don't know what it is.
Yeah, of course. If you normally say, okay, I'm doing BCom honors with risk management, it's fine. But when there is an
Yeah.
international next to it, it automatically boosts the level credentials.
Agreed. So I remember this one incident. It was, I think, in first semester or something. There was a substitute teacher, and she was like, okay, now you guys are doing ACCA. Why did you choose ACCA? Okay.
Hmm.
Now there are one set of people who are like, ma'am, my sibling or my relative is an ACCA member, and I want to become like that person. That is why I chose ACCA. I'm
Hmm.
like, okay. There were another set of people who were like, ma'am, the career opportunities are very good. I can go abroad and work. I was like, okay. And the teacher was like, Srini, you tell me, why did you choose ACC? And I'm like, ma'am, because it sounded fancy.
What did teacher tell?
And my teacher was like, great, honest answer. That is what I was looking for.
In her heart, she would have told something else.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to disclose that.
I don't know. It's really funny. Like, who chooses? Because it sounded fancy. You chose a career. It sound for sounding fancy, and it turned out to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, it literally turned out to be good. So after I understood what ACCA is and how it works, I was like, okay, I did not make a mistake. मेरा तुक्का सही लगा है इस बार.
But yeah, of course. Sometimes it happens for me also. Like whenever for the school I was selecting for 11th and 12th, there were like three
हाँ.
schools that I'm supposed to go. So my dad took me to this. My school is Gurukul. So
हाँ.
first I went to one Gurukul, and like we went everything like we did all the formalities we were supposed to do. We saw and then came out, and then we went to another school in Hyderabad, another international school. We went there, everything formalities filled up, and then I was like, okay, fine. At last I have to decide one school, right? I was
Yeah.
thinking, okay, which school should I go with? I was like, okay, I will just go with Gurukul because there would be not much ragging and all those things, and I can probably just get over it in 2 years. And then that's the only reason I chose that school. But when I went in, like all the co-curricular activities, all my friends, they were amazing. And at last, I turned out to be like an extreme extrovert. Before that, I used to be like, if someone talks to me, I used to give 1 minute wait and then reply. I used to have a dialogue review in my mind. Yeah. After I went to Gurukul, like that's one of the choice I made like out of blue and sahi tukka laga.
Array, very good. So
Yeah.
happy that it turned out good for you.
Yeah, sometimes it do does, and like whenever we are in college, right? Like you or me, like anyone, even in college, there would be many courses or like with groups you get attached to.
True, true.
Yeah, do you have any group like that you hang out every time?
Yes. I have a group of 5 or 6 people,
Oh.
and we hang out whenever we could in college.
Hmm.
And now that is one thing that I'm missing the most.
Oh, I also miss my group. It's also like 6 or 7 people. Uh, so
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that is.
yeah, completed.
And I was saying that, that was the most saddest part of lockdown. You can't meet your friends, and other than video call, you literally can't do anything else.
That's true. Like we can understand how much we miss each other. Like we miss traveling a lot. Like when you are in
Yeah.
in this four walls in between, it always comes out.
But actually, I tried few photography skills. I tried to test my photography skills in lockdown.
Hmm.
I did it for like 2-3 months or something.
Oh.
And after that, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I have no other ideas in my mind. I packed my camera and put it on the shelf. And I'm like, okay, if I go out anytime, then I would take you with me.
Oh. So do you have any like do you have an Instagram page or anywhere like do you upload your pictures?
Yeah, there is a Insta page called Shri.graphy.
Oh, cool.
So check it out, guys.
Yeah, of course. We will tell it at last. We can promote our both pages.
Ah, great.
Yeah, and okay, fine. I want to talk about this place. Like, this is the most interesting part I come every time. Like, people keep asking me about this part mainly. So,
Okay.
what is the relationship advices you have given away? Like, what is those things that you look at a guy or like any boy, like generalized thing that a girl look in a boy that makes her like think that he's safe and it's better to be friend or close with him.
The first thing I look in a guy is how sure is he about his future.
Okay.
Because, now we are doing our final year degree and we can't mess around anymore.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, one of the things which I look at is how interested is he towards, his future, his career.
Hmm.
Then second would be his extracurricular activities I would look at, because I am very much into extracurriculars, and I
Yeah.
would love to, have a friend or anyone special who is that much interested in extracurricular activities.
Hmm.
If I'll be like, you know what, let's just randomly go for a drive, and he should be like, yeah, let's go, fine, get up. He
Oh.
should be as energetic and enthusiastic like I am.
Okay.
And, the most important thing is that the vibe should match.
That's true. Vibe in the sense of like what?
Personality and, characteristics
Yeah.
and energy, that should match. Because imagine, one girl is very energetic and one guy is very lazy and very, slobby and everything. So just imagine that. It wouldn't last long. So
That's
until and unless you don't have same vibes, it
Oh.
won't last.
That's cool. Yeah, that's actually true. Like, of course, you defined all the characteristics which are there in me, but still okay. All, also nice traits.
Are you ready to go for a drive?
Of course, we would go. I'm just after this
Okay.
lockdown. I'm coming. We will go
Done,
have a
done,
party.
done. Yeah, you come to Bangalore and I will make sure that I, take you to every pub in Bangalore. I will make you, meet few girls. We
Sure.
can enjoy your night and we can go for treks and all. That is one of the beautiful things about Bangalore. You have so many mountain ranges and so many hill stations here that you can just randomly go and you can stay there for the weekend.
Oh, that's the point of coming in Bangalore. It's like the tech and also fun city.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
true.
So like when you have this all thing, right? What are, like when friends come to you and tell you that Srinidhi, I got broke up, what are these advices that you give to them?
Okay, so I give three advices. Okay, my first question is that are you sure you are done with the guy?
Hmm.
And then she would tell me, okay, you know what, this and all happened. And I'm like, okay, fine, you have broken up. Are you going back to him ever again?
Hmm.
Then if she says no, then I'm like, okay, fine. Number one, delete all the chats. One of the reasons why we asked to, delete chats is because there would have been a lot of romantic conversation that would have happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So if you have that chat in your list and you are just scrolling down your WhatsApp and you see that name, you open it and you scroll up
Hmm.
and you see all that love was there, once upon a time and everything,
Hmm.
and you end up being sad again,
Hmm.
right? So one of the main things to move on is to delete chat.
Hmm.
Second thing is optional. It's like, deleting pictures. That is completely optional. Okay. If you think that, that picture would not make you sad, would rather make you happy, then
Hmm.
it's all right. You can, keep the pictures. It's completely on them.
Hmm.
The third thing, which is very important and very true, is that, we have done a lot of things with that other person.
Hmm.
Right, like say we went for a ride, or had a burger in McD, or Starbucks date, cafe coffee date, and everything. So
Hmm.
whenever you go to such places, it hits you.
Yeah.
It'll be like, oh my God, on this day, this time we were sitting there.
Yeah.
So exactly. So that's what you should do, is that you should redirect your thoughts. So rather than thinking that, okay, this time, this day, I was with him, you can say that, oh, a week later, I came here with my friend.
Hmm.
So that way, you are redirecting your thought and you're not becoming sad. The main motive of breaking up is to move on.
Hmm.
Right? You've
Yeah.
broken up. Now, what's done is done. Now, you have to move on.
Hmm.
So, you have to look at the things which can help you move on. Probably pick up a new hobby.
Yeah.
I know a friend who, used to wish each other every month. So more like a month anniversary or something. So
Okay.
what happened was that after they broke up, they were like, you know what, this particular date is so depressing. I'm like, in that case, pick up a new hobby. Say that, okay, for example, every 15th, I'm going to sing a new song.
Hmm.
So you're completely diverting your mind.
Hmm.
I think these are the most important things that should be done when someone has broken up, rather than listening to sad movies and rather than listening to sad songs and watching sad movies. They can do all these things, which is healthy,
Yeah.
and it
That's
is not affecting their mind badly.
That's one of the wisest advice I have ever heard.
I am glad that you think it was wise.
Of course, yeah. Actually, the thing is, it makes more sense. It's like a logical advice. What all you told,
Yeah.
it actually kind of makes you remind of that person. So you're just blocking that reminder, like that note. So if that note is missing, there is no chance. There are not much chances of remembering them.
Exactly. True.
Yeah.
And when you divert your mind, you are literally, when you pick up a new hobby, so
Hmm.
it's like if you do it continuously, then you would feel good towards it. And all these negative and bad thoughts would just go away and you would ultimately forget that person. All the good memories that you had with him would stay with you, but all the bad things and, things that you don't want to remember, that would slowly go away.
That's cool. No, the thing is, whenever we go through any pain, like not just in a relationship, even with a friendship or anything, and misunderstanding happen, at first we should get a clarity of what actually is, like having both person perspective, and then
Yeah.
understanding that how much you know how much you should start, like how much you should start at starting. Like at starting itself, you can't probably get over them, but it takes time, and you should accept the fact that it will be hurtful.
Mm, true. Agree.
That's the thing, of course. So what happens is in this case is like whenever you give these advices, right? Have you ever taken advices from someone?
No.
Okay, cool.
I know that's very weird to say because the advices that I give is very general.
Yeah.
And and if I end up in that particular situation, my friend would give me the same advice. I'm like, what nonsense are you talking about? I am not doing that.
Hmm.
So, but I don't know why my friends think that, the advices that I give are pretty good.
Hmm.
And, I mean, lucky in that part that I can look at different perspectives in one time.
Yeah. I guess also goes back to you moving from place to place at every time.
Agree. Like, I know how people are from, I've literally gone to every single state in India.
Hmm.
There's not even a single state that I haven't been to.
Hmm.
And I have friends in every single state, so I know how they think. I know what they are thinking. I know how they feel, or I know how their culture influences that particular thought.
Hmm.
So I think that also helps me to figure out what the other person is thinking or what advice the other person wants to hear.
Oh, that's cool. And when I the way I got contacted with you for the podcast, what did you initially think when like we both got in contact through a mutual friend? What did you think this
Yeah.
podcast would be about? Like, what did you had in mind when I texted you at
The thing
first?
is that I heard all the 3 episodes of your podcast
Hmm.
and it was really good. So I instantly knew that, I want to be a part of it because the topic that you talk about makes a lot of sense. I think your second episode was about mental illness and mental health,
Yeah, yeah,
which is very relevant to this situation.
yeah. That's true.
So the topic that you talk about and the way you interact, I mean that was really good. That was one thing that I was like, I have to be a part of this.
Thank you. It means a lot. And I also thought that whenever you have like the podcast or the interviews are with celebrities, right?
Yeah.
So like those celebrities, they have a different setup. So whatever they talk, like that may not really make sense to you. It's just out of some favoritism we listen to them. But actually, we as friends, like we go through same issues. So
Yeah.
so like
True.
when we have this podcast and when we have this talk, people would understand the perspective of a person completely.
It will be more at a general level, ground zero level, so that people can actually understand what we are trying to say.
Yeah, and if you want to tell that, like one of the reason that like when our mutual friend told about you was that you being good at all these things, I want to ask you what was that one formula or a tool you used to learn all the skills that you have, because those are wide skills, like completely creative or completely numbers and all. What is that one
Yeah,
tool you
there's
take?
this one. I don't have a tool, but I have a proverb.
Hmm.
It is more like a dialogue, a sentence from one of my favorite shows. It says the carousel never stops turning.
Okay, can you
It
repeat
it
again?
means that it says the carousel never stops turning.
Oh, oh, that
So
sounds
what
good.
it means, what it says is the carousel is life.
Hmm.
Okay, so life never stops for anyone. Time never stops for anyone. It keeps on going. So you have to move forward.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
that is one thing. If suppose I had skills of say a 6-year-old,
Hmm.
it literally wouldn't help me right now. I have to have skills of a 19-year-old or probably 20, 21-year-old, so that I have an edge on others. I stand different. I
Yeah,
stand unique.
yeah. And one
So
of the thing that I really liked about you, like whenever the whole conversation, the podcast or before, is that you have a maturity and you have a sense of like what to give importance in which level. You also enjoy You also learn, you also have fun. Like you
Yeah.
gave, you are smart enough to allocate right amount of investments in every part of your life.
Yeah. True.
Uh,
That's right.
and I want to thank you. Like we completed the first segment of this podcast, and the second segment would be about
Yay!
the favorite topic.
Bollywood.
Yeah, so cool. We will have a Bollywood segment again, and people, please, people listening, please follow. Can you tell your Instagram ID, Srinidhi?
It is at the rate Sri.graphy.
Yeah, please follow that for amazing photography, and please DM me on follow me, Talk of Thought, so that you would be updated with all the latest episodes. And if you want your stories told, that's where you can reach me. And keep waiting for